Multiple new attractions are now permitted to be added to Epic Universe, in addition to the park's new event space already under construction. But new land clearing has just started outside of the park, in a large plot of land along Universal Boulevard. What will this nearly 90-acre plot of land be used for, and why is it being prepared for development now? Let's go over permit details and the latest construction near Epic Universe in today's news update. Looking around the current state of Universal Epic Universe, there are smaller concrete projects all around the park. More than a year since previews for the new park first began, it's now seeing these minor refreshes in all areas. Sections of courtyards are currently blocked off by walls while this work is ongoing, like here near the entrance, or here in the courtyard in front of Constellation Carousel. The multi-purpose event space construction is moving along, with the first steps for foundations happening now. Connections for structural supports and other bases are being poured ahead of the pouring of the floor itself. This thin strip here will be a wall that separates the main event space from the back-of-house kitchen areas. Work on the fireworks launch pad behind the park appears to be wrapping up. Work on the secondary launch pads on the sides of the park has yet to be completed, though. Permits related to the upcoming expansion to the Wizarding World are now marked as ready to issue. This is for the construction of a massive 150,000 square foot new attraction, expected to be within this highlighted area of the land. The final reviews of the submitted permit plans were given at the end of February, so all that's required now is that the fees are paid before they become active. The permits have all been updated and now say that the structure will only be 1 story tall, but we're not sure if that's final at this time. Stardust Racers has reopened after an extended maintenance-related closure. The company had put out an official statement saying the attraction was undergoing its first annual planned inspection, but the announced reopening date was pushed back several times. Universal says they've made additional capacity throughput enhancements for the coaster, which extended the temporary closure period. After nearly 5 weeks, Stardust Racers is now back to regular operations. Until this week, these were the main stories that we were following for Epic Universe. That is, until a new permit posted. Posted on March 23, 2026, this new permit was for site work within the Epic Universe parcel. It did not specify where within the park, but the parcel includes only the theme park itself and not backstage areas. When it first posted, the full description was mass grading, utility points of connection, and reroutes for early work purposes of a future attraction, known as Project 680. Project 680 will be a new project number that we've not seen before. The upcoming Potter expansion is listed as Project 987. This new permit is also the first time that we have seen the words future attraction used in a permit for Epic Universe since it opened last year. Even the Potter expansion permits simply refer to it as site work and foundation work. Unlike the Potter permits, however, this new permit does not list a square footage for the project. So, in addition to not knowing where in the park it will go, we also have no idea how large it will be. Project 680 is somewhat unusual for the park, as so far all of the project numbers within Epic Universe have begun with the number 9. That includes all of the initial project numbers for each of the lands, like 901 for Celestial Park, 902 for Dark Universe, 903 for How to Train Your Dragon, 904 for Super Nintendo World, and 905 for the Wizarding World. Even newer projects have begun with 9, like the event space, which is Project 915. The fireworks launch pad behind the park, however, broke tradition with a project number of 247, so it's possible that going forward new projects can start with other numbers. As to why Project 680, one clue may be an older project designation for a formerly canceled project. When Zelda concepts were being pitched to replace Lost Continent years ago, the artists submitting concepts included a project number with them, Project 675. Of course, none of those early concepts were greenlit, and Project 675 was never utilized as a project number. Now, this is only speculation, but perhaps Project 680 at Epic Universe is utilizing this number because it is related to a new variation of a Zelda project. Could a Zelda expansion for Super Nintendo World be next for Epic Universe? The only other rumored area expected to receive a new attraction in the coming years is the expansion plot for Dark Universe. This is separate from the expansion plot next to Super Nintendo World and is located directly behind the Dark Universe area. It's worth keeping in mind that the permit listed work as early preparation for a future attraction, so this could simply be the first steps to prepare land, and we could still be a ways away from actual construction. Whether for more Nintendo or an expansion to Dark Universe, modular offices would need to be relocated before work could begin, as both areas contain temporary structures at this time. It's also worth noting that later that same day when the permit first posted, and after it was discovered by journalists and fans, the project description was changed to just say site work, and then the permit was pulled completely. So if you try to search for it now, nothing will come up. Maybe it was posted too soon, or maybe something was incorrectly listed on it. Whatever the issue, they were quick to update the description once fans noticed that it originally said future attraction. A project that has actually started, and probably sooner than many of us expected, is work happening on the West Parcel mass grading project. This section of land, located along Universal Boulevard near Topgolf and Andretti Indoor Karting and Games, is seeing the first stages of land prep happening now. Current permits are for the grading of a 35-acre section along the south side of the parcel. Permits say this work is to support the future development of an 87.2-acre parcel along Universal Boulevard. Here is an image showing the full scale of the complete parcel set aside for future development. As you can see, it's located just west of Epic Universe, which is located on the right side of this image. Not only has land clearing been going on in the southern section of this parcel, but a mesh material is being laid down as well. A section of trees and bushes have been retained to help separate Universal's property from the nearby Topgolf. It looks like this strip of land may remain untouched, at least for now. However, permit communications with the county explain Universal's plan eventually includes the removal of all trees within the property. The rest of the trees are appearing to be removed now, with that mesh material being laid onto the flattened land after. Permits were recently approved for fill to be brought in as well, to help shape the land as needed for this project. Dated March 10, 2026, this permit approves the import of approximately 175,000 cubic yards of clean fill material to the property. In a section of the property slightly more north than where the land clearing is happening, we can spot orange barricades wrapped around existing infrastructure. This area in the middle of the parcel has things like utility connections and existing drainage measures marked off to make them more visible when the next phases of work are set to begin. While this initial mass grading work is happening on the southern tip of the land, we can see here how the parcel continues north, reaching all the way to across the street from the Orlando Eye. This large, nearly 90-acre parcel owned by Universal is located just on the other side of Universal Boulevard from the back entrance to the Orlando Eye's Entertainment Plaza. The yellow arrow in this photo is pointing at the northern part of the Universal Orlando Resort, located a couple miles north of here, where the older theme parks and City Walk are located. According to plans filed with the South Florida Water Management District, the full project site includes the drainage pond that runs behind Topgolf. The plans call for upgrades to drainage throughout the project site to prepare it for development. The work we are seeing here now is part of the overall erosion segment control and mass grading plan, as seen here. This is also the area where the fill that is being delivered will be utilized, which may raise the land once completed. Seeing this work happening now, many are wondering what the ultimate plans will be for this large parcel of land. The actual theme park areas of Epic Universe itself aren't much larger than this nearly 90 acres that's been set aside here. Could we see this large parcel utilized as a new water park, or a Universal Kids Park, or maybe some sort of complex of hotels? With its location along Universal Boulevard, located roughly between Epic Universe and the Endless Summer Resort, this west parcel is prime real estate for some sort of midway transit hub for Universal Orlando. Universal's special district, the Shingle Creek Transit and Utility Community Development District, is working on a new transit system now. They are currently in negotiations with the Boring Company to create a system that will connect the various sites of the resort together via tunnels and by other means. Could this west parcel become a hub for the upcoming transit system? While we do not have a proposed plan for the Boring's tunnel system, we have seen a proposal by another company for their version of a transit system, which could give us an idea of what the district was looking for. This proposed plan, submitted by Sunshine Partners, would have had the transit system run along Universal Boulevard. It would have passed right through this large plot of land on its way between the southern resort areas, like Epic Universe and the surrounding hotels, and the northern resort areas, including City Walk and the older parks. Of course, this site is much larger than would be needed for just a transit hub, so perhaps we could see this parcel become another entertainment complex. There have been rumors for years that Universal has wanted to compete with some of the local iDrive offerings, bringing their own dining and entertainment venues to the immediate area surrounding the convention center. Plus, if they were to build a new City Walk-like area here instead of attached directly to Epic Universe, it would free up more space for a future fourth theme park connected to Epic later on. That could be accomplished by utilizing the flat parking lot space as part of a new park after building parking garages across the street. This is all speculation, but with a parcel of this scale, whether for hotels or something more substantial, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. The current permits we have seen for the project are for water drainage, and they list the expiration date as 5 years from when they were issued. That means they have until December 15th, 2030 to complete the project. That's all for now, but be sure to check out our recent update on the Fast and Furious drifting coaster being built now at Universal Studios Florida. A big thanks to BioReconstruct for the amazing aerial views. You can follow him on social media and YouTube for more theme park photography. If you like what we do, consider supporting us at patreon.com/themeparkstop. Thanks for watching. See you next time.